Hi everyone, my name is Ray Breton. I recently just graduated with a Master of Business Administration from the University of New Hampshire. And this summer, with the fellowship program, I had the pleasure of doing the supply chain review for Bristol Seafood. So eager to grow the positive impact that Bristol Seafood makes on its stakeholders, the company has instituted several changes to operations in order to reduce its negative social and environmental impacts, and they were ready to gain a more in-depth understanding of current impacts in order to formulate and implement a plan to drive further improvement. So with that being said, the scope and objectives of my project included initially a supply chain compliance review, which consisted of a comprehensive review of Seafood's B impact assessment, focusing on supply chain. That being said, their fisheries, transportation, storage, as well as the organization and validation of supply chain documents for the B impact assessment compliance. Next, I took a deep dive into the continuous improvement documentation. So that was the identification of areas where Bristol has improved beyond their initial assessment questions, as well as the adjustment of future assessment responses to reflect positive changes and advancements they have made. Lastly, I provided recommendations for positive impact enhancement. So that was identification of areas in the B impact assessment for further enhancements to increase positive impact, as well as the documentation of recommendations for additional work aligning with the sustainability goals within the B impact frameworks. So these are the results from the questions relating to supply chain that fell within the community section of the B impact assessment. After original certification, they had earned 39% of the points possible within this section. Um, since then, they've done things like partner with local organizations for inclusive hiring. They donated goods to auctions. They hired environmental consultants to profitably reduce their environmental footprint, and many more. But that led them to 56% of points being earned. And then on the end here, you can see 60% of points being earned, and that will be pending the recommendations I provided. For example, adding targets to the approved supplier policy, such as making 25% of purchases from suppliers with diverse ownership, formally targeting to make 1% of purchases hyperlocal to Greater Portland, and introducing a supplier satisfaction survey. So that will be a 54% increase since their original certification. Next are the questions that fell within the environment section. So at original certification, they already had quite a bit of points earned, being 74%. And since then, they've introduced things like a brand called Tosca, which is a reusable packaging solution out of Mass. They've diverted waste from landfills by shipping fish remains to companies for reuse in the beauty and pet food industries, as well as they've transitioned bags to recyclable material. So that brought them to 80% of points earned. And then again, pending recommendations, they will have 84% of points earned. And my recommendations to them were to add more robust supplier audit inspections. So that's auditing how do their suppliers track and minimize waste generation? How do they organize, identify, handle, and dispose of toxins and hazardous materials? And what measures do their suppliers have in place to assess and mitigate the impact of operations on local biodiversity? So with that being said, a 13% increase since original certification. And finally, my final task will be to move my work to Bristol Seafood's SharePoint, specifically designated for their B Corp work, where that will live for continuous improvement documentation and recertifications in the years to come. And I would just like to thank the UNH Sustainability Institute for this prestigious program, as well as my host organization, Bristol Seafood. More specifically, my mentors, Josh Allen, and the rest of the supply chain team, Brendan Landry and Peter Handy. And lastly, my advisors, Sue Kaplan and Shannon Rogers, and the rest of the Shared Values Advisory Group.